And welcome back to the YouTube stream. Part 2 is hot on the YouTube page, and we are live here at the Autobahn Country Club and on YouTube. I'm Jeremy Scott. For those of you tuning in, we are just about ready to get started for the third race of the afternoon, the Radical Cup and Wings and Things. And this week we actually have two classes of Radical Cup racing, as it's the Radical SR10s making their OctoberFast debut, and the SR31340 CC class. 15 cars have entered the call. And it's interesting because we have one competitor who we normally see in Radical Cup in Pro Mazda. Talk about that in just a little bit. It's the 01 of Jordan Missig. Alongside him is the 46 of Brandon Schwartz and the 5 of Adrian Morrow. They will bring up the Pro Mazda field. In the Radical SR10, yes, Radical SR10. We'll talk about the Radicals as well throughout the race. Louis Schreiber, the triple one, will be alongside Nico Caravitas in the 3. John Stafford in the 1 make the Radical SR10 field. That's Radical SR3 1340. It is the National 1340 champion Mike Anzoli in the 61 alongside Mike D'Ambrose in the 6. Ryan Kelly in the 15 will be alongside Andrew Marks in the 14. John Mikulski in the 22 will sit alongside Chris Kemp in the 153. PJ Hyatt in the 23 will be alongside Jason Greenwood in the 529. Again, 15 cars, 12 laps, 1 pace lap. As we're about ready to get set for today's Radical Cup race. Thank you for joining us here on the Autobahn Country Club YouTube page here, the Autobahn Country Club. We want to thank Lexus, Chevrolet, Flight Deck, I should say the Docket Inwood, and Haggerty Motorsports for their involvement in today's festivities. Make sure you swing on over to each spot. Thank them for their continued support of the Autobahn Country Club. As Vail working their way around turn number 8. Again, Lexus is the provider of the pace car and the ceremonial pace cars, which are ahead of the field. We'll see them all pull in here at the end of this lap. Again, it is one base lap, 12 race laps, as we're just about set to get started for the final Wing Things race of the year. As we mentioned, normally we see Jordan Missig in the Radical Cup, but making a switch into the Road to Indy next year for Indy Pro 2000. And he purchased this Pro Mazda. This is the previous generation of what is now the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. And he's going to run some races when it doesn't conflict with his Super Trofeo or Indy Pro 2000 Championship throughout the season. So it's great to see that he's making the leap into a diverse schedule, to say the least, between running the Lamborghinis and the intense Road to Indy schedule, which a lot of the races he'll be running with the NTT IndyCar Series. A couple of them won't be running with him. It'll be the Memorial Day weekend at the Lucas Oil Raceway for the Carnet Classic, and at the New Jersey Motorsports Park. They usually run their own feature race, kind of like what we had here a little bit more than 10 years ago. All right, pace car has the field in tow in turn 6. The Pro Mazdas making their way through. The SR10's kind of slowing down the Radical group, as the pace car will be coming in this time by. We do see that the Radicals will have their own wave. Talk about the differences between the SR3 and the SR10, as the Radicals are also lining up. Here come the Pro Mazdas. It's Kevin Davis in the 44, Jordan Missig in the 01, and Brandon Schwartz in the 46, and Adrian Moore in the 5. Pace cars in the pits. We're about to go racing for 12 laps of open wheel and wing racing here at the Autobahn Country Club. Eyes on the starter, Jeff Plain, and we are about to go for some racing, as the Pro Mazda is really slowed down. Green flag is out, and we see the Jordan Missig and Kevin Davis neck and neck going into turn number 1, and Davis for now has the advantage single file, as Missig looks around the outside and onto the Radical Cup, as they are really creeping around turn number 19. We see the size a gap between the SR10s and the SR3s. As they're coming really slow, your leaders in Pro Mazda making their way around turn number 3 and into 4, and we're still watching on the screens. The Radical Cup now gets the green flag. They get an early green. See a couple cars pop out in the SR3s, as it looks like that the 6 of D'Ambrose tries to get ahead, and we see that Louis Schreiber with lead so far in the SR10. It's interesting to see that Inzaldi trying to do all he can to mix it up with the SR10s in turn number 2, and he does. He gets around Stafford at the very least. And the Pro Mazda is still making their way around the circuit. They're coming to turn number 10. We're watching Radicals as we see the 13 looking to the inside. That's Stafford. Stafford still gets around Anzaldi. That is not for class position. That's for overall position. And Radical Cup. Oh, Stafford drops a wheel in turn number 5. He's going to lose some position to the National 1340 champ, Mickey Anzaldi. Stafford shuts the door on him. And they head into the long straightaway going into turn number 8. A little battle for position there between Ryan Kelly and the 15 and the 6 of Mike D'Ambrose. That's sitting there and waits. John Mikulski, he's at second in points in the 1340. Around turn number 9 and into 10, we see Stafford Hill opening up big time, as that's a little bit powerful motor in the SR10 compared to the 1340 motorcycle motor that it's powering Mike Anzaldi, but he's still able to open up a little bit of a gap between he and Mike D'Ambrose. For now, Ryan Kelly closes within a sizable distance between he and the 6, as Kelly's going to look to the inside of D'Ambrose. That's for second at 1340. D'Ambrose gets a little bit better, as Kevin Davis has a half-second lead over Jordan Missig. That is the overall lead right now in Pro Mazda. Your 1340 class looking pretty tight, though, through the 13, 14, 15 complex, as Inzaldi, he started to step away from the battle for second place as Ryan Kelly tries to do all he can to get around Mike D'Ambrose, but so far so good for D'Ambrose in that Galactic number 6 paint scheme 1340. Battle for position near the back. That's between Greenwood and P.J. Hyatt. Oh, Greenwood shuts the door on Hyatt coming around turn number 17. I thought there was going to be a little bit of contact there, but nonetheless, everybody looking pretty good so far through the first lap. It's Davis missing shorts, your top three. That's Adrian Morrill in the Pro Mazda. Louis Schreiber, your SR10. Your SR10 leader in the 111, he sits fifth. Sixth goes to Nico Karavitas. Seventh is John Stafford in the 13. Eighth is your Radical 1340 leader, Mike Anzaldi in the 61. Ninth, Mike D'Ambrose in the 6th, and 10th to Ryan Kelly. That's the battle for second place we're watching right now on the circuit. As we are seeing that, once again, Stafford able to open up that gap, and looks like that D'Ambrose has gone away from the clutches of Ryan Kelly. We're watching Marks and Kemp also. That's a close battle for position. As for the 5th spot in the 1340 class. And also still got the battle between Greenwood and Hyatt. That's entering turn number 8 right now. And a lot of these drivers do run the Blue Marble Radical Cup North America Cup. And that's where we did see Mike Anzaldi with his 1340 championship. And it looks like Kelly's going to close up to D'Ambrose in that braking zone in turn number 11. You're seeing on YouTube right now. A couple of car lengths separate the two drivers. Going into turn number 13. And really the Radical race is kind of ebbing and flowing here, as still got a good battle, looks like, in the Pro Mazda Championship between Kevin Davis and Jordan Missig. It looks like that whatever Davis does, Missig following in lockstep. Missig already has a win in open the season with race 1 at VIR and the FR Americas Championship. Still within a good shot of finishing points position, as the field will make their way onto the Circuit of the Americas in November. But it's a good training ground for Missig, especially with the talent that Kevin Davis has in that 44. Missig closing within a car length between the two cars as they're coming down the straightaway. Let's see if Missig can grab that draft and close in just a little bit further. Of course, Brandon Schwartz also back there, who's become a great driver in his own right as well throughout the season, and it's great to see that he's been able to capitalize on learning through Kevin Davis. And that's one thing that I will say about this Pro Mazda Championship. We do know that there are some cars on property, and Kevin's been trying to get drivers to get in and get out on track and race with Pro Mazda, because it is a fantastic championship, and it's a development to for these drivers to get it here. And it's a development for these drivers to get in and be able to run the championship, because it sets them up for further success, whether they go into, the road to Indy, if they decide to run, the USFIA circuit, if they decide to run Formula Race promotions, it sets them up for success. Now we're watching the battle between Davis and Missig. Davis doing all he can to break that draft of Missig. He goes to the inside, Missig does, and he's going to make it side by side through turn number 1. Oh, nice pass by the 0-1 of Jordan Missig. He is your new leader through turn number 1. And now we'll see what Missig has learned for the past couple of laps by Kevin Davis. So, it's now Missig, Davis, Schwartz. And Missig with the fastest time of the race so far with a 14.7. 1340 still got, that's stretched out a little bit. Closest battle there is between Marks and Kemp, the 14 and the 153. Still watching the battle for overall lead between the new leader, the 0-1 of Missig, and the 44 of Kevin Davis. A couple car lengths separate the top two in Pro Mazda between Jordan Missig in the 0-1. In the 44 of Kevin Davis, who's in second place, Jordan Missig in the 0-1. And right now, I'm pleased to be joined by Britt Casey, a champion in his own right, the inaugural IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge touring car, it's TCR, I'm sorry, champion. Yeah, TCR. It's been a while since I've done professional sport car racing. So, but you're also part of the new Autobahn Driver Academy. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Correct, yeah. So it's pretty much, we're touching up on the current program in a way that puts an emphasis on driver development within the club, so that essentially we have more stories like my story coming out of Autobahn. So I started racing here 2011 as a little kid, 13. Yeah, a little special exemption there, but basically used Autobahn as the sort of launching pad for professional sports car racing career, which is essentially that's what Autobahn creates, is road course sports car drivers. So you can definitely work on the skill here, build on it, or you could just simply enjoy the club and become the best driver you can based on basically the top guys of the club and their driving performance, basically showing data, video, all the more modern current systems that we use in motorsport. And it's cool because there's a trickle down, a very fluid trickle down from professional motorsport within IMSA, within SRO, even the Mazda Road to Indy, well, Road to Indy, sorry. And, basically, you know, MX5 Cup forward is IMSA. We have MX5 Cup here. We have some current drivers in MX5 Cup in IMSA right now who are members here. Actually going to be racing against him in about 45 minutes here. So a lot of guys.
A lot of guys we're seeing, you know, yourself, Jordan Missig, who's in this race, Christian Weir, who's making a name for himself, not only in sports cars, but in open wheel as well. We're also seeing, you know, John Joe Doying. You're talking about him.
Yes,
he's
MX5
coming through.
Cup.
And it's just a whole bunch of drivers who are coming up through the system that have benefited from Autobahn. Now you guys are taking that experience and having a different driver academy.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, the way I look at track time is hyper valuable to get it. If you're a member at Autobahn, if you're a member of the member racing series here, you have a huge luxury in terms of track time. And that's very unique compared to other places, you know, where you have to trailer your own car. Where you have to basically work on it at the track out of trailer. Here we have shops that can prep it. You get minimum 3 20-minute sessions a day, which is, and it's essentially free. I mean, at the end of the day, the per unit cost per lap is extremely low. So to basically use Autobahn to its full advantage, you know, why wouldn't you want to maximize your own driving potential by using the modern tools that have, basically that's exactly what they're trying to solve, is they're simplifying the process of getting faster, and we want to spread that around.
Real quick, PJ Hyatt with quick spin and go. Turn number 18, he's back underway. And you start from karting and you work your way up to eventually professional driving development. And what helps also is there is a wealth of professional teams that not only are based here, but also test here.
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. And there's also a guidance aspect to this whole driver academy idea. There's a lot of contacts that I know I have. I'm more than happy to serve anyone that is a member here that's I've raced against or watched race, to give them the right contacts, the right people that you want to know, the right way to approach these teams, the right way to approach a test, prepare for a test, either at this track or anywhere else outside of it. Even using, you know, iRacing, you know, that's super important. It's not the maxed out way to prep, but it's a fantastic way to at least get the lay of the land of any new course.
And you're not just here all the time. You go to the IMSA races, so you're there all the time. So if say a driver says, you know, I want to go run an IMSA, whether it's MX5 Cup or Michelin Pilot Challenge, you know a lot of drivers, a lot of good driver coaches, and you could say, go to those coaches and say, hey, I know this kid, can you give him a shot?
Absolutely, yeah, and I've kind of done that actually a couple times already, just kind of happenstance for that. But yeah, absolutely, I'm looking out for everyone here just as much as anyone else. Actually, I would take it further and say the Autobahn members take priority, especially just because of the title I hold now as Chief Instructor Driver Development. Yeah. Definitely part of the role, you know, giving referrals in the correct way, in the appropriate manner, and really polishing and prepping all these drivers so that they're ready when they go out.
Sounds like we might have an incident off of turn number 10 with the 23 of PJ Hyatt, and we are full course yellow for PJ Hyatt off in turn number 10. We'll get some more information as it becomes available. Real quick, let's talk about getting these drivers from karting into cars, because it's not just we're putting them in we're going from the senior class to right in the Spec Miata class. There's a different process with this drive academy.
Absolutely. We have the Autobahn Race School, which is it's been a above par program. Basically, I think it should earn a lot more national recognition for what we go through in terms of prepping and licensing SCCA drivers here. That's really important. We've done that in the past. I could say it's full professional in terms of how that program lays out. Basically 2 visits, I believe. And then also the drivers, when they are getting prepared for these next steps, you know, from the adolescent karting days to go to cars, that's probably the big leap, because you're dealing with literally 10 times the weight in a race car versus a go-kart. You're going to be really using the brakes for a lot longer to get the car slowed down. It's not just a stab of the brake pedal. It's there's a very specific way to brake in a car, and it's truly an art form. Data can show that, as anyone that I've coached this year could tell you. Yeah. So that is definitely something I'm familiar with. Candidly, there might be other coaches at the kart track that are more useful for that topic in terms of how to drive a kart and what really transitions over. An open wheel car is obviously quicker in weight transitions and everything like a kart, but there's still suspension.
And you have in the academy yourself, obviously, the sports car. You do have other drivers who professional open wheel racers so there's that mix there. So if you want to do just sports cars, okay, you go to you. If you want to do just open wheels, okay, well, you go to someone like a Jordan Missig or eventually a Christian Weir.
Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever they want to do. You know, like I said, the referrals are fairly fruitful. I definitely know the scene and you know what is good decision versus bad. And just from even a generic career guidance role, you know, I didn't do this whole IMSA at this point career. I've held a IMSA license for 7 years now, so yeah, 2014, that was the first one.
Cow.
So definitely know that whole scene. A lot of important people, very influential people, you know, easy. They're 1, 2, 3 texts.
Yeah, you and I know the same people, so it's, speaking from experience, it's a great opportunity regardless. So if you're coming up through the ranks, you definitely want to be a part of this program. Real quick, let's go through the running order while we're under full course yellow. It's Jordan Missig, Lee Kevin Davis, Brandon Schwartz in the 46, Adrian Moore, who had a problem just before that full course yellow with the spin off of turn number 5. He sits 4th. Louis Schreiber, your SR10 leader in the 111, sits 5th. 6 is Nico Gervinas in the 3. John Stafford in the, looks like actually it's Mike Anzaldi in the 61, 17, 1340 leader. Mike D'Ambrose sits 8th and 6th, Ryan Kelly 9th, then it's John Mikulski rounding out your top 10. In 11th, it's Andrew Marks in the 14, Chris Kemp in the 153, Jason Greenwood in the 529, John Stafford in the 13. Off the course is PJ Hyatt. We've run 6 laps. We're under full course yellow for the stranded car of PJ Hyatt in the 23. Now, let's talk a little bit about your racing season. I know since you've won your TCR championship, a little difficult to get right, but you've had some quality rides, whether they be in IMSA TCR or in the GS class.
Yeah, I've done. I've also did a couple races in SRO. I do some coaching there too. But yeah, I was racing at VIR last week. I actually got back into a TCR car for the first time since 2019, and in 2020, before the whole little pandemic happened, I had a full season ride. So it ended up kind of collapsing the program, and that's fine. I ended up working here more, and honestly couldn't really be happier with the position that I have now. And I know I'm in a spot where my skills can absolutely shine and thrive. It's right up my alley, honestly.
And back to the Drive Academy also, a lot of people are, they're worried about, okay, how do I learn media training? How do I learn, fitness and this, and how do I talk to teams? And that's a part of what the Academy is too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, we're trying to touch all elements of how to be a successful race car driver, whether professional or on the rise. It's not all about being raw fast. A one lap, cool. A one lap fast lap is one thing, great, shows you kind of know what you're doing, but there's also a lot of times where you accidentally throw down a fast lap and you don't really know how that happened. So the goal is basically, racecraft is another thing, by the way. Racecraft in a professional series is extremely cutthroat. Everyone gives an inch to half an inch, whatever is necessary to get through the corner, and literally nothing more than that. So, and then you have pit stops, driver changes. Everything kind of compounds at that level, and you just don't want to be drinking from the fire hose when you show up. You want to feel like you're prepared, or at least confident enough to feel prepared after that first run.
And with media training, it also helps you out because you've done some stints on IMSA radio as color commentator.
I have.
Jealous,
like
actually.
Five or six. Yeah. A few, like I said, but that's cool. I know Jeremy Shaw. He runs the Team USA scholarship. I didn't ever get nominated for it, but he definitely, was always saying, "Bro, you got it. No worries." So he is top 5. I think we talked about this the other day. He's top 5 most influential people for any young driver coming up.
Yeah, and any Carter, listen to these words from both of us. Make sure you know who Jeremy Shaw is. Learn about him. Talk to him. He is one of the smartest minds in all of motorsports that I've even dealt with.
Absolutely. No, I was on the phone with him like 5 days ago. So he's very cool, lives out in California, but his influence within the motorsport paddock, IndyCar, road to Indy, sports car racing, he is a voice with a lot of weight. So.
All right, so pace car is off of turn number 11. We want to thank Team Stradale and Horton for their sponsorship. We're just about ready to go racing. Let's take some of that IMSA radio experience and let's call a race.
We could do some color commentary.
Do a little color commentary. So the pace car is coming off the circuit this time by as the field makes their way onto the North Circuit. Brett, I gotta say though, it's interesting now seeing the SR10s being added to the 1340s because you have some of the slower cars in the SR10s mixing it up with the 1340s.
Yeah, I drove an SR10 for the first time today, actually, and wow, fast. Big power. It attacks the corner with a lot more speed, therefore more downforce. So it's a lot of fun. And that's interesting. If you're going to try to do both in terms of match them on speed, the SR3 has got to be like on rails in the corner because the SR10 is just so good overall.
Well, you've got that Ford EcoBoost motor in the SR10, and that was powerful in the Daytona prototype days, and now you have something that's a little bit lighter, slugging that around. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy with the front nose piece off. It's got 2 giant intercoolers in front of the front tires, so there's a lot going on there.
I'm excited to see the updates that are going to happen. All right, so the field's coming around turn number 16. We'll see them come into view heading toward 17. Pace car will come off this time by. It looks like the Radicals kind of separating themselves. Don't want to get involved in that Pro Mazda battle either. As the pace car comes off, it is Jordan Missig, Kevin Davis, Brandon Short, Adrian Moore, your leaders. Green flag is out. We're back underway. 4 laps to go. Nice jump from Missig. And, of course, also Brandon Schwartz, who's looking pretty good in and of himself. Looks like that he's got to try and challenge for that second spot.
This will be interesting with the Radicals.
It will be interesting because it's a green flag. Louis Schreiber is back underway. He's got Nico behind him. And here's what's interesting. We've seen Louis in the national championship, but he's been plagued with some gremlins throughout the early part of the season with that SR10.
And Mike Anzaldi, reigning champion of the Radical Cup series that travels all around the United States. Big deal for him. Congrats, Mike.
Yeah, Mike won that at Road Atlanta. And of course, he's trying to hold off Mike D'Ambrose and Ryan Kelly. Both are pretty good restarters there. See Kelly trying to get in those mirror Vanzaldi's. They go through turn number 4, and Kelly trying to hold off Mikulski, who actually sits second in points. A good showing for him this season, as that's even with Mike Anzaldi missing a couple races because of his national commitments.
Yeah, Mike is really good. Overall, super consistent, smart. He stays ahead of the car, stays ahead of the race, and it shows. I mean, I couldn't be happier to see him win the national championship. That was a huge deal.
And a really nice guy. And of course, if you go to these Radical Cup paddocks, you see, One Motorsports factory team. You see, a couple other factory teams. They do it out of a trailer it's probably, 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, him, Jason Greenwood, Louis Schreiber, and maybe one or two crewmen working on the car.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, they have a huge advantage. Like I said, anyone that's a member here racing in the series, they definitely have a leg up in terms of just overall seat time in these cars. Oh, almost dipped a wheel there.
Yeah, almost dropped a wheel there. It's interesting seeing a lot of the cars come off at turn number 12 and sliding here on this first lap.
Yeah, that corner is just barely flat. If you set up wrong and you exit left of turn 11 too early, you may have to make a slight lift. But if you're over that curb, generally it's because the car's understeering on you.
All right, so you have 3 laps to go. You're getting ready for the Spec Miata race. Let's preview that real quick. It's a big field.
Yeah, the qualifying session was interesting. We only got, did about a lap and a half before a black flag happened, and we had to bring it back to the pit lane, and essentially became a one-lap shootout for the grid position. So I think P3, pretty sure.
So real quick, talk about what that does to a driver. You get out there, you get that first warm-up lap, okay, you're good, and now black flag or red flag, and now it's a true dedicated session.
Yeah, it pretty much caters to the guys that are super heads up and know the risk of a qualifying session going black. Basically what happens is the whole field freezes, but the clock keeps going. So it's important to set a fast lap early just in case a yellow occurs. That way you at least have a lap in the bag.
Now watching the Pro Mazda field, Britt Jr., thanks for joining us. Well, we got to get you up here more because this is a lot of fun.
Deal. Sounds good. I'm here. You know that 5 days a week.
Of course. Sounds good. Britt Casey Jr., the head of driver development here at the Autobahn Country Club, joining us for just a little bit. He'll be running in the Spec Miata race here in about a half hour or so. So Jordan Missick has opened up into a comfortable lead around turn number 11 and 12. Got a great restart there as he's 6-7 car length gap to Kevin Davis. And Brandon Schwartz still sitting back there as well, same with Adrian Morrow. As the field making their way through the North Circuit. Again, Nico and Anzaldi, looking at actually the battle between the 14 Andrew Marks and the 153 Chris Kemp. They've been racing all race long, neck and neck with one another as they go on to the North Circuit. And that is actually the battle for 5th place in the 1340 class. Now, didn't get a chance to talk much about the difference between the SR3 and the SR10. As we said, the SR10, the faster, higher horsepower Radical. And what's interesting also, 425 horsepower, and of course, this is a British pamphlet I was handed, 586 base horsepower to ton, top speed of 180 miles an hour. The gearbox in it, it's the same one that you see in an F2 car. So that's kind of cool as well. White flag will be coming out next time by for our leaders as we see Anzaldi doing all he can to hang back the 6 of D'Ambrose. That's about for the 1340 lead. And we mentioned that it's a 40 EcoBoost motor in the back of the Radical SR10. And you can choose the power settings as well. This battle for the 1340 lead actually heating up as D'Ambrose takes a tighter line through the 2 and 3 complex. He closes up within the gearbox of Anzaldi, looks to the inside. Anzaldi shuts the front door on him as he comes through turn number 4. Of course, the 1340 is about 195 horsepower. With a 2.3 peak lateral force, can get to 141 miles an hour. And Anzaldi's doing all he can to get ahead. Open up the gap between he and D'Ambrose. As it's a RBE Suzuki 1340 cc with dry sump oil system motor powering the 1340 class. That sequential gearbox. Move it through the gears. Yeah. Leader making his way through 16. That's Jordan Missig in the 0-1, but the battle for the 1340 leads up. The Ebbs looks to the inside. Not going to happen. Not close enough for the 61 of Anzaldi, as Anzaldi gets a better launch off of turn number 12. D'Ambrose doing all he can to spook the national champion in the 1340 class. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Jordan Missig. Could he make 2 wins in a month in open wheel? We'll soon find out. One of his best seasons that he's had in racing so far. We're also watching battle for the 1340 lead between Anzaldi and D'Ambrose, as the Pro Mazda Podium making its way onto the North Circuit. Half second separates Anzaldi and D'Ambrose. It also looks like that's our 10 battle for the lead, also heating up between Schreiber and Garavitas. A lot of great battles to watch out for. Hope you watch them either on in the Haggerty Lounge, on the observation deck, or in the Lexus observation deck. A lot of great places to watch these battles. And still the Anzaldi-D'Ambrose battle heating up. Then you got the Marks Kemp battle looking pretty good. The Schreiber-Kiervias. There's 3 battles for position to see who's going to be where in the championship order and in finishing order. As there is your 1340 lead between the 61 of Anzaldi and the 6 of D'Ambrose. D'Ambrose not close enough to make anything happen, but I will say this. It's interesting to see the different lines he's taking to get closer, get a little faster, get an edge into Anzaldi. Again, Anzaldi with 1 championship wrapped up, trying to wrap up another one for the season to become double champion, whether it's in whether it's the national and the local championship. About 4 car lengths separate the 61 and the 6. And we're just about to crown a winner here in Wings and Things. And Jordan Missig making his way around turn 17, but Anzaldi. That's the battle on the track right now as we're watching the leaders come down the straightaway for the Twin Checkers. Jordan Missig takes his first Pro Mazda race into a win. Second goes to Kevin Davis. Third to Brandon Schwartz. But we're also watching for the SR10 and the SR3 races, as we do see that Schreiber doing all he can to hold off Nico Karavitas. 1 to 2 car length separates the 2 cars. They come through turn number 18. Now into 19. Who gets the better launch? And it looks like it's going to be Schreiber, though. Looks like Karavitas going to try and see if he can get alongside. He's not. Louis Schreiber wins. Nico Karavitas 0.19 seconds. And around turn number 18 comes your national champion. Around corner, here comes Anzaldi. Twin Checkers up for him. He wins in 1340. Second goes to Mike D'Ambrose. Third to Ryan Kelly. Spec Miata Racers, if you've not started making your way to the grid, might be a good idea to do so. Spec Miata Racers, start heading to the grid. What a fantastic race. Again, we want to thank Britt Casey Jr. for joining us talking about the Autobahn Driver Academy. And this has just been a great weekend of racing, and we saved the best for last. It's about time for Spec Miata Racing. You'll see in the Midwest, actually in the whole country, here at the Autobahn Country Club. I'm going to step aside for just a little bit, get ready for this next race, but hang on tight. Make sure you get yourself some sort of beverage refreshment. Might want to head over to the flight deck, get one of those $8 drinks, as we heard from Britt Casey Sr. They're fantastic. Also head over to Lexus. See the RCF Fuji Speedway Edition, which boasts an optimal aerodynamic performance. Learn from the RCF GT3 racing teams. Check out the RC GT3 at the Lexus Racing Trailer. Check out their hospitality unit. hop on the observation deck and stake your claim to a spot on the south course. Also next to it, head over to the Chevrolet display where you too can enter to win $50,000 towards a Chevrolet of your choice. And as we see there, the Camaro, the all-new C8 Corvette. There's the flight deck. And next to the flight deck is also the sponsor of the Autobahn Member Racing Series, Haggerty Motorsports. Find out how you too can get insured by Haggerty for track day or whatever else you'd like to get insured with. All Spec Miata racers to the grid, please. All Spec Miata racers to the grid. Once again, I want to thank MBS 2 Motorsports for supporting the Autobahn Country Club. Holy cow, 36 cars qualified for today's race. It is a heck of a field that we have for you on this race. And, of course, the top 4 separated by less than a second. Got a great mix of drivers, and we're here in the Spec Miata. If you've not made your way to the grid, we highly recommend that you do so right now. Once again, Spec Miata racers, did you make your way to the grid? If you can hear my voice and you're on the grid, you're in good shape. If you're hearing my voice and not on the grid, I want to head over there. This is the final race of the season for the Autobahn Member Racing Series. And we're just about ready to get started for today's Spec Miata race. Also, the end of the Podium Ceremony, we are going to have a fireworks display. It's an annual tradition, unlike any other here at the Autobahn Country Club. So around 6:30, we will have that. Of course, that will also be broadcast live on our YouTube stream. So want to thank the following people for making today's broadcast possible and doing all the fine camera switches. Ben Hasbrook, Kyle Nadeau, and Dave Dusick of Racetrack Engineering, all doing a fantastic job. Great job, guys. Always appreciate your hard work. 36 cars set for today's Spec Miata race. We're just about ready to get started as we do see the 08 Ethan Tyler making his way onto the grid. And, of course, a lot of other, looks like almost everybody is set up for today's race. 1 minute, and we are sending the lots of ceremonial cars onto the circuit. This is the time where the pulse quickens as we're just on set. On the pole with a time of 2:46.0, it's Taro Kushida, defending series champion, set for his second championship of his Spec Miata career. Then it's Ethan Tyler in the 08. Will be the drivers alongside row 1. Row 2 is 01 of Mike Keck, in the 31 of John Jodoin. Actually, the 01 is, I believe it's Britt Casey Jr. I've seen him in the car. We did confirm that the 01 is indeed Britt Casey Jr. Row 3 is 157 of Matt Alexander. Alexander's a two-time series champion in the Spec Miata, winning in 2013 and 2017. He'll be alongside Sean Varwig in the 188. Last year, as you remember, he had a great spirited battle with John Jodoin for the title. The title ended up going to John Jodoin. Row 4 is Brandon Collins in the 65. He was set to run the 144. Ran in the runoffs, but he's going to run 65 this weekend, followed by Brett Scroggin in 50. Anyone in the top 8, actually the top 10, can feasibly win this race. because you've got Mike Bernardi, a three-time champion, sitting in 9th place in the 8. Jeff Garibati, the 57, rounds out your top 10. A great showing for him. Your SM2 pole sitter, it's a 09 Lee Werner, 4:890 is his best time. He'll be alongside Scott Ballard in the 190. Row 7 will be the 15 of Art Zeismer, the 71 of Greg Sorg. Row 8, the 44 of Kevin Davis, and the 3 of Tom Bagley. Let's go all the way back to 17th for your second fastest SM2 competitor. It's Mike Lingo in the 4 alongside Aiden Carini in the 98. Originally, we were supposed to see Gene Carini in the 98, but had a chance to talk to Aiden. I asked him if he's running Spec Miata. He goes, well, my dad was supposed to, but I guess I'm running it today. So great to see Aiden in that 98. Row 10, the 101 of Kevin Allard and the 17 of Mitch Graybiel. Graybiel, one of those drivers who has come up through the karting ranks and really started making a name for himself in Spec Miata. Row 11, Tom Roberts in the 63, a newer car for him, and Dave Hicks in the 25. Row 12, Scott Bowman in the 26, and Jake Malter in the 69. Dave Gertis in the 23 will be alongside Kellen Weinberger in the 19. That's row 13. Row 14, Jim DeVork and Bill Hamill in the 939.9 in row 14. Row 15, Gene Jordoin and Connor Nicholas in the 523. Then it's Kerry Traverso in the 07, Kevin Malone in the 315. Row 17 will be Wes Scroggin in 67, Joe Mikolos in the 171, and row 18 will be John Graybiel in the 117 and Mike Ryan in the 319. Interesting to note that the 319, as we said, was in the chase race yesterday. He had a hub failure in turn 2, was able to get that fixed, did quite well in the chase race. By the way, we'll have those results at the podium. And we also, of course, he was able to get that fixed, and really the cosmetic damage that we saw was negated, really. So that's always good news as well. There's Lexus Pace Arc, rounding turn number 8. The Lexus ceremonial car is also ahead of them. And head over to the Lexus display. I would head there now. Let's see, there's a spot for somebody to watch this race. There's a couple spots up there. The south observation deck looks a little full, so head over to the Lexus observation deck and find yourself a spot, watch some great racing, grandstones in your eyes, but still you can see a lot of the south track. Field making their way down back straightaway. We'll see them pair up on the north circuit here shortly. Pace car, a little bit of a gap to our pole sitter, Taro Kishida, and everything's looking so good right now as the back straightaway is starting to fill up with Miatas, and it's going to be some close racing, some closest racing you will see at the Autobahn Country Club. So the field will be working their way onto the North Circuit. Her production say they just keep coming. Well, that's how Miatas are. That's big fields all across the country. In fact, it was so big that during the SCCA National Championship runoff, they had to run a last chance race to allow 75 cars to run at the NASA Championships at Daytona, where I was at. We had upwards of upper 60s and lower 70s cars, and some great racing all throughout the Mazda Motorsports ladder. Of course, you can run nationally with the Spec Miata, move up to the Global MX-5 Cup if you want to in between. There's Spec MX-5, which is starting to grow in popularity with an East Coast Championship, a West Coast Championship, and a National Championship. Pace car, the lights are off, the field pairing up, heading into turn number 17, as we will see some sort of flag this time, whether it's a green flag or a wave off. Usually a green flag because the starts are great, but the rest of the action is a little hectic. Taro Kishida, Ethan Tyler, row 1, Britt Casey Jr., John Jodoin in row 2. So youth and experience mixed in those first two rows. Pace car, Ed Alexander, 157, Sean Vartwig, 188, make up row 3. Nice and tight, coming off of turn 19. As the field slowly making the way down the straightaway, eyes on the chief starter, Jeff Plain, as we are just about ready to go green flag racing here at the Autobahn Country Club. 12 laps of Spec Miata action. Green flag is out, and we already see cars pop out at Ballard in the 190. Popping out side by side, 2-3 wide near the back of the pack, as right now the Kashida has the advantage over Ethan Tyler. Everybody making it nice through turn number 1 so far, and that's a bunch of Miatas that you're seeing in your picture on YouTube. The 2-3 now, sometimes 4 wide at the back. One car is off. Not sure who that is. We'll get a notification here near the end. Top 2 are nose to tail. They're starting to get away from the pack as we're seeing 2-3 wide and a little bit of bumping there as we get everything sorted out in this first lap. Now things have kind of calmed down. Battle for third place between Alexander, who now has it, 31 of Joe Doyne, who lost it into turn number 4. As we're seeing side-by-side action going into turn number 5. And it looks like Joe Doyne losing. It's not Joe Doyne losing places, but a lot of neat action near the back. The Ada Bernardi, though, making his way around Scroggin in the 50. And Scroggin's not going to have any of that. He's going to try and back up there. You also have Lee Warner trying to do what he can. A little bit of a lockup from the 0-1 of Casey Jr. And we see Ballard. He's making a lot of positions. Now, he started off 12th, made his way a 10th of the line. We'll see where he's at this time by. As we've got some side-by-side action as well with Garibaldi near the back of the pack. Lots of great action here as we start this first lap of 12 here for the Spec Miata Championship. Field single file for the most part heading into turn number 11. Ethan Tyler, though, he's close enough, not going to make anything happen as we do see the 60, the 08, and the 01. 1, 2, 3. They start to step away from 4th on back. And a little slicing and dicing as we are watching a couple of cars getting just a wheel off in the dirt. Nothing too major through the 11-12 complex. As Casey Jr. has made his way up to second. Now he sets his sights on Taro Kushida. So move your way from Taro. It's Taro, Casey Jr., and Tyler. 1, 2, 3. Your top 6 have stretched out to leave the rest of the pack behind so far. And this is really going to be Taro's, I think, first real challenge so far this year, because normally we see Taro up front. He normally takes the lead and runs away with it, but we've seen how well Britt Casey Jr. has been in the Spec Miata Championship. And, of course, as we said, it propelled into that TCR Championship, the inaugural IMSA TCR Championship, and the now Michelin Pilot Challenge with Compass Racing. Looking pretty good so far through turn number 16 as the field making their way around the circuit for the first time at speed. Your top 5 look like this. It's Taro Kushida in the 60, Britt Casey Jr. in the 2nd. That's Ethan Tyler, Man Alexander, John Joe Doyne in the 31. Battle for the lead is the one that's really heating up. You also have Chip Harwig and Mike Bernardi up there. Scott Ballard made his way from his 12th starting spot to 9th, so good jump from him in the 190. You see Sean Farwick all over the back of Don Joe Doyne. We saw a lot of these battles last year in SM2, and now we're seeing it in Spec Miata. No surprise here, as I mentioned, this is the future of Spec Miata. Great battle for position there near the back of the pack, and we see the wonderful smoke from the cafe at Autobahn Country Club. And it looks like that the battle we're watching right now is that of the 44 Davis and the 3 of Tom Bagley. As Bagley trying to do all he can to get around Davis, that's for 12th position. Also look at the 190 of Sam Ballard, the 71 of Greg Sork. That's a newer car for Sork, and it's actually one that he's raced before, wrecked, and he tried to get it out a couple weeks ago with no front windshield. That didn't work out too well for him, but that's a little bit quicker car, so we're also used to seeing him in the blue over yellow 71. I did see that car on the grid with a different number. Maybe the 171 to Joe Mikolos. As everybody looking pretty good so far. Battle for the lead. Here comes Britt Casey Jr. to the inside of Taro, and Casey Jr. is your new leader. But this also opens up the opportunity for Ethan Tyler. Top 6 have all bunched up as well. Throw a blanket on him. Anybody can take position here shortly. Looks like Tyler bumping on that bumper of Carl. They're both going to go to the inside, see if they can make a position. We do have, looks like the 31, Joe Doyne, trying to go for fourth place over the 157 of Matt Alexander. So Joe Doyne going to think better of it through turn number 4. That's kind of broken up that 6-car pack just a little bit, but still a close battle for the lead there, as Rick Casey Jr. opened up a little bit of advantage in that 0-1. So looking pretty good here, top 3 all in the back, and then it goes back to another top 3 because Joe Doyne kind of slowed down the momentum just a little bit for that battle for fourth place. And Taro, he's just staying content with being there. Looks like Joe Doyne got to the inside of Alexander. Once again, Alexander, the wily veteran, not going to make anything happen. And, of course, the 188 going to the inside of Joe Doyne. So Joe Doyne tries to gain a position, loses a position, but that's not going to last very long either, as Joe Doyne trying to get around the 188 of Varwig. And Tyler trying to break a draft as well, so that way that 3-car battle doesn't become a 6-car battle once again. So the top 6 looking pretty good so far. Joe Doyne, he's on that back bumper of Varwig. Does he try and make a position? No, he's going to try and stay snaked in with the top 6. Looks like they've caught each other, and Joe Doyne, using the lessons he's learned in the Global X5 Cup for his part-time effort this year, is looking to make a full-time effort next season in Global MX5 Cup, a very competitive series in and of itself. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the 8 of Bernardi also try and catch up. If he and Scroggin can hook up, I think that's going to be a battle to watch here momentarily. Varwig, even through the draft, able to, a little off by 31 of Joe Doyne. Varwig goes to the inside of Alexander. So a lot of action happening through turn 6. Alexander shut the front door on him, but Varwig's to try and shove that foot right back in there in turn number 8. And, of course, Taro tried to look to the inside coming out of 7 and thought better of it. So a lot of action. Joe Doyne, even though he went off out of Wheeler 2 in turn number 5, he has not lost much position so far. Less enough to create a little bit of an issue. Got a battle for a position there as well. Looks like that could be the 3 of Bagley and the 15 of Zeismer down the back straightaway, but we're still watching this battle for the lead. Battles all throughout the field, really, as we do see Lee Warner trying to hold a defensive line. The 44 of Kevin Davis. You got Bagley, the 144 in the Bagley. Zeismer looks like Collins. Brandon Collins in the 144. That's his SCCA National Racing Series steed that we usually see him in. He's trying to get around Zeismer. He's dispatched of the 101 of Kevin Ballard, but this is the battle right now for 15th place. See Ballard in that blue and white 101. Looks like he may have lost a little bit of momentum, and back to the bat for the lead right now as Alexander trying to do all he can to get in the mirrors and into the head of Ethan Tyler in the 08. Meanwhile, Britt Casey Jr. has opened up a little bit of a lead for the overall lead. So that's looking pretty good so far. We are could be 3 laps in here shortly, with Britt Casey Jr. leading 2 of those. Ethan Tyler doing all he can to try and get into that second position. He wants to get up there and try and challenge Casey Jr. for the lead, but Targashida's kind of holding him back coming out of turn number 1. As we see, here comes Ethan Tyler on the inside of Taro Kishida, side by side. Will he have the advantage? He gets them so far, but does Taro break a little bit deeper? No, he's not going to go a little bit deeper in turn 3. He's going to let Ethan Tyler get up there. Now he's got a sight set on the 0-1 of Britt Casey Jr. So let's see what Tyler can do. See if he can catch up to the 0-1 of Casey Jr. Britt Casey Jr. has opened up a bigger gap this time by, Wheeler 2 off for Tyler, but that may not have a loss of momentum so far, as we are seeing a gap, hearing of a yellow in turn number 15. Got some debris coming off of Looks like a debris off of turn 15. We're watching this battle for the Spec Miata lead. So far, so good as it's a 5-car battle for second place. Oh, Tyler with a little bit of a slide through turn number 9. Does that hurt him coming down back straightaway? As it's a 5-car battle for the lead, for second place, I should say. Casey Jr. as your leader. He's opened up at least a 10-car length lead. And Targashita looks to the inside. He's too far away, but he's going to get deep on the brakes there. It's a little bit of a bump that Joe Doyne has on Varwick, so he's caught up to that pack after that off last lap in turn number 5. So now the leaders making their way through 13, and they'll come across that yellow zone where that bumper is. And gonna see what happens. Full course yellow. Now we are full course yellow for to retrieve the bumper. We do have a car off as well. Looks like that's in the course side of the circuit. We'll confirm that with scoring. And yeah, that is the 4. We're seeing from other views, Mike Linko is off the course. So Mike Linko off the course also looks like that's over there in turn number 16, as we see in the far distance. And yeah, that is going to be Mike Linko from our camera. Safety car is out, so we'll bunch up the field with 4 laps in the books. We can take a breather if you get a chance. Head over to the flight deck, get yourself a margarita, because this is going to be some darn good racing action here in the next couple of laps. At least 1 lap will be under yellow. We've got 4 laps in the books, 8 laps to go. Here's your running order so far. Britt Casey Jr. in the 0-1 leader. Then it's Ethan Tyler in the 0-8. Taro Kashida is 3rd in the 60. Matt Alexander is 4th in the 157. And Sean Varwick in the 188. He sits 5th. 6th goes to John Jodoy in the 31. 7th goes to the 8 of Mike Bernardi. 8th is the 50 of Brett Scroggin. 9th is the 90th, 190th Scott Ballard. 10th is the 71 of Greg Sorg. 11th, Aiden Guarini in the 98. Aiden actually your SM2 leader. So to see Aiden up near the front. Also, Lee Warner in the 09 sits 12th. 13th is Brandon Collins in the 144. 14th is the 3-time Bagley. 15th is the 15 of Art Zeisman. That's Kevin Ballard in the 101. 16th, 17th, Tom Robertson 60th in the 63. 18th, Jeff Garbati in the 57. Mike Ryan in the 319 sits 19th. Dave Hicks in the 25 is 20th. 21st is Scott Bowman in the 26th. 22nd is Jake Malter in the 69. 23rd, Kellen Weinberger in the 19. 24th is Jim Dvorak in the 39. That's Kevin Davis in the 44. 25th, Mitch Graybeal, 17 is 26. 27th is Ken Malone in the 315. 28th is the 23, Dave Gertis. Connor Miklos, 29th, the 529, Gary Traverso in the 07 is 30th. Gene Jodoin in the 66 is 31st. Bill Hamill, 32nd in the number 9. Wes Scroggin still running as well. He is 33rd. 34th is Joe Miklos in the 171, and Mike Linko off the course in turn number 6. 34 cars out of 35 still running in this race as we're under full course yellow conditions for a big bumper in the road, the exit of turn number 15, and Mike Linko spun off in turn number 16. So don't forget, at 6 o'clock, we'll have our podium ceremonies. We will talk about champions and award lots of prizes for today's festivities. So each and every class, we will have a podium ceremony for them as well. So come on over for some fun and bring kids too, as they will be able to launch off some poppers. We've got little pops for them to help celebrate, and always a lot of fun. The final ceremony of the 2021 season. So we have at least one more lap under full course yellow conditions, kind of get the drivers to get ready to run their final laps of the season at speed. Of course, with Spec Miata, of course, anything can happen in the closing stages. Hey, want to let you know that you can win, you have a chance to win $50,000 towards a Chevrolet of your choice by signing up at the Chevrolet booth. See my friend John. I'll get you set up. And also, if you are a Corvette owner, make sure you show him some sort of way that you own your Corvette. You may drive the Corvette over there and say, hey, this is mine. He'll give you a little treat for, a little prize for owning a Corvette. So it's a Chevrolet trailer in front of the members building. Also producing up to 311 horsepower, the Lexus IS Sport is track-coated, optimized for aggressive launches and intense cornering. See the Lexus fleet in front of the members building as well. Go ahead on top of that balcony and watch the race, and also go inside the wonderful hospitality area and kind of warm up a little bit, so you stay cooling off, but warm up a little bit just in between the race and the podium. Obviously, we we'll have the podium ceremonies here after this race right around 6 o'clock, so got about 20 minutes to hand over there and get ready for the racing action. As also, don't forget that Haggerty has a display out there as well. They're the official entitlement sponsor of the Autobahn Member Racing Series for the 2021 season. Make sure you stop by and find out how you too can get insured by Haggerty Insurance. So safety car is out, and looks like we could be going back to racing here momentarily as the 4 of Lincoln is being flat-towed off of onto pit road. So we're just about ready to continue racing. We'll have about 6 laps of racing left as when the field comes by. It will be halfway, and just heard from the race director that yes, the pace car is going lights out, so we'll be racing here next time by 6 laps in, 6 laps to go. Top 10 looks like this. It's Britt Casey Jr. in the 0-1, leading Ethan Tyler. This is going to be a battle here of youth versus experience. We know Britt Casey Jr. has lots of pro racing experience. Would not be surprised to see if he can snooker Ethan Tyler, if Ethan Tyler's got something up his sleeve. Tara Sheeta sits third at 60. Matt Alexander fourth at 157. Sean Varwick in the 188 sits fifth. John Jodoy in the 31 sits sixth. Mike Bernardi seventh in the 8th. Brett Scrocken eighth in the 50. The 190 is Scott Ballard sits ninth. 10th is Greg Sorg. Your SM2 battle for the lead, Aiden Carini and Lee Warner are neck and neck with each other. It's 98 and 09, 11th and 12th. You got to go back to Mike Ryan in 19th place. The 319 for your 3rd place spot in SM2, and he's got a bit of a gap between him and Jake Malter in 69, who sits 4th in SM2. Field picking up speed and a little bit straggled as they come around onto turn number 16. Yeah, looks like Casey Jr., he's keeping up with pace car. Ethan Tyler's keeping up with Casey Jr. Tyler wants a bit of that lead as well. We've seen how good Ethan Tyler's gotten over the past couple of seasons. Let's see what he has for Casey Jr. Pace car picks up speed going through turn number 7. We're about ready to go back racing as Casey Jr. kind of packs up the field as we're just about ready to complete lap number 6 with 6 laps to go. Punching up around the final couple of quarters on the North Circuit, and Casey Jr. looking like he's going to go a little bit faster restart than we saw at the start. Green flag is out, and wonderful job by two-starter Jeff Lane as he shows the green and the cross flags. 2, 3, 4 wide at the back of the pack as we're battling here in the closing stages of this race. Amazing how everybody got through turn number 1 on that restart. So a lot of great restarts, especially by Mike Bernardi in the 8. Back to 2 and 3 wide near the middle of the pack, and everybody knows it's the final 6 laps of competition for Spec Miata Racing. Tyler, though, he's all over that back bumper of Casey Jr. So it's 0-1 over 0-8 so far, and Tara Grashida sitting back there just to see what happens as everybody's 2 wide also near the back of the pack, so getting a little antsy there as we have, again, 6 laps left to go in the racing season. Interesting to note. Field working around turn number 6. We got a 2-car battle for the lead. Then it's a 3-car battle for third place. So podium positions at play here in the final stages of this race. This little sundown race as well, setting great scene on the end of the 2021 racing season. Side-by-side action between the 50 and the 98. Looks like it's also a battle for the SM2 lead as Lee Warner pokes his nose in there for position side-by-side as Carini's trying to hold off Warner. And he does so around turn number 10, but our focus also on the front of the field. We'll see if the brake pedal goes a little quote soft on the 0.8 of Ethan Tyler, but looking pretty good so far as it's still 0.1 and 0.8. A little bit of bump in between the 8 of Bernardi. Could have been the 71 of Sorg as well. Between those 2 cars is everybody so far so good. Bagley trying to do all he can to move up as well. And looks like Lee Warner has squeezed his way to the SM2 lead so far. But I don't expect that to last long because Aiden Carini, we haven't seen him out much, but he's still a pretty artful racer. Oh, looking to the inside is the 0 of Ethan Tyler. Doesn't have enough room to make that pass happen, but I think that Brett Casey Jr. kind of gave him a false sense of security going around turn number 6. Trying to get on those mirrors is the 0.8 of Ethan Tyler, but it's hard to get inside the head of Brett Casey Jr. as he's competed against some of the world's best in IMSA and SRO. Got a battle for position between the, looks like we found where the missing bumper was from. That is the 315 of Kevin Malone. Britt Casey Jr. Once again, cross the line, actually looked the fastest time on that restart with a 46.9. So, Casey Jr. laid down the gauntlet with 5 laps to go. But Ethan Tyler's not making it easy. He's keeping him honest on a couple battles for position near the back of the pack as well. As top 2 making their way through turn number 4. Gotta hand it to Tyler going toe-to-toe with one of the best here in Spec Miata. Tyler Rashid is just, he's just an interested observer to see what happens in the next couple of laps. Again, a lot can happen here in 5 laps as we see Brett Casey Jr. opening up a 2-car length gap between he and Ethan Tyler. Through the 8 complex, of course, the Ethan Tyler kind of slowing, getting a better break into turn number 8. And that's just going to set him up nicely for the long back straightaway, but Casey Jr. able to get on the gas a little bit quicker. So top 2 have stepped away from that 4-car battle for the 3rd spot. Of course, Matt Alexander doesn't push the issue too much, but when he wants a position, he'll try and get around Taro. That's not a big deal right now. Oh, the 71 of Sorg with a shortcut through turn number 12. Nice save. As he might have seen a blade of grass that was just a little too high. As we are seeing the field start to see those brake lights a little bit better because it's getting a little darker there going into turn number 13. Such a great view through the 13, 14, 15 complex through the woods. Always been one of my favorite sections of racetrack here at the Autobahn Country Club. You don't really feel like you're at a racetrack at that point. You feel like you're just in the middle of a 4th reserve. So Brandon Collins trying to get around. Could be the 8 of Mike Bernardi. That's for 7th spot. Bernardi taking an interesting defensive line as Collins has to succeed that battle through turn number 17. Oh, going to be a little bit of a bump, but nonetheless, Collins trying to get around the champ, and that is, again, the battle for 7th place. We haven't seen much of Brandon Collins this season. He's been off racing with the CCA Hoosier Super Tour, but we've seen how much better of a racer that has made him. Collins was the Collins up near the front with that. He's getting up near the front with the Super Tour. As field making their way once again through the turn 2-3 area. It's still Casey Jr. Tyler, though, runs a fast lap of a 45.90. Casey running a 45.96. Those the only drivers running 45. So they're starting to increase their lead, say the least. A little bit of a slide, little wheel off from the 188 of Sean Varwig. As we are seeing battle for the lead heat up between the 01 and the 08. And then you got Taro Kashida. Look as you look into the cars. You see the drivers look before they turn in. It's really neat to see that. You can see that often with these drivers setting themselves up for a heavy braking zone like that. And it's interesting also to see that some shows their clear visors, others shows their dark smoke visors. And then you see some of them actually have the painter's tape to kind of block the sun with as low as it is in the sky. A lot of cars going through, a lot of great shots here as we are seeing the top two step away from the rest of the field. Looking pretty good so far as we're seeing everybody kind of playing nice, getting ready for the end of the race. Got a couple of 3-0 here down in the closing laps. Greg Sorgan, 71, sounds like he is off course in turn number 6. He's off course, drivers right approaching turn number 7. We'll see what the race director decides to do here in the couple of corners while the leaders come by and complete lap number 9. Looking pretty good so far. There's a couple battles. Mike Ryan trying to make his presence known within the Spec Miata class. Casey Jr. laying down another fast lap, 45.7 to a 45.8 from Ethan Tyler. So again, Casey Jr. leading the fastest lap brigade so far. 3 laps to go as the sun sets on the 2021 Autobahn member racing season, presented by Haggerty Motorsports. Brandon Collins trying to do all he can to go around Mike Bernardi. That's for the 7th spot. Collins wants it. Bernardi has it. That's the closest battle on the track. Of course, it'd behoove them to kind of speed up and catch up to the battle for 3rd place. Field making their way around again. 3 laps to go. There's Robertson Gapati, also the 15 of Art Zeismer and the 3 of Tom Bagley. We got 1 car off at turn 6 as well. That's the 144 of Collins. Looks like that the 8 and the 144 made some side-to-side contact, causing Collins to go off course. So looks like that battle that we saw. Oh, nice little battle here between 319 Orion and the 15 of Zeismer. Tries to go around the inside, but Zeismer does not let that happen. Through turn number 8. Still a interesting lead. I think Tyler's just biding his time, waiting for those final 2 laps, those golden laps, where we see a lot of positions trying and be made there in those closing laps. Sun setting behind that warehouse there, so it might make life a little easier for some of the drivers as they go into turn number 4. They might lose that so they can see a little bit better. As we're watching, looks like that There's your leaders right there on the screen. Top two, and then you got the third, fourth, and fifth, as well as sixth place. They're all in a line together. A little bit of drafting. Here comes your leader, so they're going to come across the line, get 2 laps to go, so it'll be 1 flag next time by for your leaders once they cross the line. Now, Tyler going to close in just a little bit on the braking zone, but tries to look to the inside. Casey gives them a little bit of room to kind of see what happens. They've been in lockstep since the last full course yellow ended, and Tyler just sitting back and being like a sponge and learning all he can in the closing laps. Everybody getting comfortable here in the past couple of corners, so we'll see the white flag out this time by for your leaders. Again, the 0-1 of Britt Casey Jr. and the 0-8 of Ethan Tyler. 1 and 2 as we close out this final race of the 2021 season here at OctoberFast. So we did confirm that Greg Sorg is the driver off course. And Britt Casey Jr. getting a little bit of extra space to Ethan now saying, you want it? Try and take there. So it's interesting to see that happen. Casey Jr. and Tyler, they've been just neck and neck all race long through turn number 10. We'll see if Tyler can get a better jump. No, Casey Jr. gets off onto the gas a little bit quicker coming out of turn number 10. Into the braking zone at turn number 11. Still looking pretty good. And tell you what, this is driving on the edge here. This is a clinic that both drivers are putting on and how to not only battle for position. Oh, looks like O'Doyne. No, it could be Alexander that went off. Yeah, that was Matt Alexander with a rare miscue as he slides off, exiting turn number 11. And now that 4-car battle for third now becomes a 3-car battle for third. That is going to be between the 60, the 188, and the 31. Eyes on the leaders. They come around turn number 16. Still nose to tail. Britt Casey Jr. and Ethan Tyler. Leaders around turn number 17. Taro Kishida, your 2020 champion, could be set for another championship. This year we will award the championships next month at the awards banquet. White flag is out, 1 lap to go, and that is go time for Ethan Tyler. He knows it's now or never to try and win against Britt Casey Jr. And as the field works their way around turn number 1, it's still, that battle lead is closed up around the clubhouse turn. Does Ethan Tyler try something here in turn number 2? He's going to try and look to the outside. Thinks better of it. There are plenty of other opportunities where if Tyler wants to make a move, he's going to, but it is just that close. 1/10 of a second separates Casey Jr. and Tyler at the line. Through turn number 3, Tyler, he is within striking distance to make something happen here in the closing laps. Turn 8 is going to be the first opportunity. We're going to see if something is going to happen as the leaders coming around turn number 5, 0-1, 0-8. Britt Casey Jr. has been flawless these past couple of laps. Let's see if he can keep the 0-8 of Ethan Tyler behind him in these next couple of laps. Tyler does not make his move in turn number 8. Also, Sean Varwick trying to get onto the podium himself. So we'll see if Varwick also has, but we're watching this battle for the lead. As now, does Tyler get a better jump off of Britt Casey Jr.? Looks like he matches toe-to-toe. Coming back onto the throttle, down the long back straightaway, coming off of turn number 10. Still going to get within that draft. It's interesting as Casey taking the defensive line. Tyler tries to look inside the mirror, does not make anything happen. They both slide off at turn number 11, set themselves up for turn number 12. Still a couple of quarters left to make a pass happen if you're going to go for the lead. nose to tail. It's the 01 of Casey Jr., the 08 of Ethan Tyler, and looks like John Jodoin trying to go around the inside of the 180 of Varwick. So now they're going to set themselves up. Oh, the 08 of Ethan Tyler tries to look to the inside of Casey Jr., and 14 doesn't make anything happen. Along the heading into turn number 15, the final few corners of 2021 Spec Miata Championship. Nice and tight through turn number 16. It's still Casey Jr. ahead of Ethan Tyler. Down into turn number 17. Got two great battles. Here comes the 01, the 08, still looking pretty good. As Casey Jr. opened up a little bit of breathing room there through 18 and 19. But can Ethan Tyler get on the gas just a little bit better in turn number 19? Both go wide. I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's not. Twin checkers are out. Casey Jr. wins. Ethan Tyler second. Who gets third in the battle for the bottom step of the podium? It's going to be Taro Kushida. He is your third place finisher, with John Jodoin ahead of Sean Varwig. Matt Alexander's in fourth, a battle for position between Graybeal in the 17 and the 15 of Art Zeismer. Across the line, Lee Warner takes Aiden Carini for first and second in SM2. And Mike Ryan finishes third in SM2. What a fantastic race that was today, folks. We had some great racing, and now we are now ready to do our podium ceremonies. Everybody will have trophies handed out. We'll have chase race and everything else to announce. Also, a quick presentation from Mike Gritter and Britt Casey Jr. on the Autobahn Driver Academy. So stick around here on YouTube, and if you're here at the track, make sure you head down to the podium for your spot. Everyone. All right. Yeah. Welcome back to the Autobahn Country Club, and the master of all these cameras is Dave Dusick. Dave, I've got to say, this is a fantastic camera system. You and I, we've known each other for a while. I've seen what you've done around the country. I think this is the best we've had.
Well, thank you, buddy. It's an honor to be here.
Make sure you're there. You go.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here at the Autobahn. we've watched what you guys have done up here for a long time, and for us as racetrack engineering to transition into the country club market and to do it at the granddaddy of them all, Autobahn, is a real honor for us to be here.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about how you got started and how you developed into what you are today.
That's a long story, buddy, but
well, let's keep
it goes all the way back to 1982. Started driving like everybody. I was a race car driver, wanted to be a professional race car driver, and then quickly realized that really wasn't in the cards, and was able to move as a teenager into event production and racetrack operations, and then it sort of grew from there.
And how did you get your concept with RTE?
So it's an interesting, I had the fortune of working in the engineering department at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway through my teen years, my early 20s. And I realized that as I left Indianapolis and went to the other facilities in the industry, that there was a gap between those with and those without. And the idea of RTE is to take the knowledge and the ideology from Indianapolis and filter that down through the rest of the industry and try to give back the knowledge that we had learned to the rest of the industry.
And you've worked with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and you're working with other tracks around the country. So what makes working with different series different from working with tracks like us?
Well, the thing that's really remarkable is whether it's a dirt go-kart track in the middle of Nebraska, or the Indy 500, or the World 100 at Eldora, or at a country club like Autobahn, we learn something everywhere we go. And essentially what we do is we compile all that knowledge. We've been fortunate to do nearly 250 races a year for the last 12 years. So we're gathering all this information, and we take all that information and we just recycle it through our design, installation, operation process. So as we operate, we learn, and then we integrate that into our designs, and it's just a never-ending loop of knowledge and experience that we're gaining.
Well, we've seen what it can do here at the Autobahn Country Club, and it's interesting because this is the first time that we've used cameras from your company and actually utilize them in a production setting where we're watching it like you would a race on like ESPN or FS1. So I've got to say, this is fantastic. I'm excited for the future.
Well, I tell you what, kudos to Mike Gritter and Kyle Nadeau and Ben. The production that these guys have done, to be honest, we've worked with a lot of groups, and this is down the best use of our race control technology. Keep in mind, these cameras were installed for race control.
Yeah.
Their ability to take a circuit camera, we call it, and turn it into a production camera is phenomenal. All weekend, super impressed. I really think Autobahn has changed the game when it comes to race control technology and production.
And I'm really excited. Obviously, with me, we've worked together for different Pro Series. I've worked, with different productions. Hands down, I think this is close to what you will see elsewhere. Dave Deuce, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, stay tuned. We're just about ready to do our victory podium ceremonies here shortly. Well, that was a fantastic end to our 2021 sprint racing season for the Autobahn Member Racing Series presented by Haggerty Motorsports. Let's give away a huge round of applause because I can't remember a Spec Miata race ending that well. First and second with fist bumps. Guys, you're good. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Real quick, let's get Mike Ritter up here and Britt Casey Jr. We're going to talk a little bit about the Autobahn Driver Academy. Now, if you were listening earlier, we talked about it. Let's start off with the foundation, Mike. How did the Driver Academy get started?
Well, so for starters here, I'm sure everyone has noticed our new logo up here. We're very excited to announce our new Autobahn Driver Academy. Great new logo, great new program. So as you can see today, we have awesome racers here at Autobahn. The racing that went on today was just absolutely fantastic. We have racers that come through our ranks here and are now pro racing, and we've watched them go through all these steps, and we thought, you know, we really need to develop our young drivers to be ready to go pro racing. So that's how it really started. So we've got guys going through karting, all the way through the steps of racing here, all the way to pro racing. And so what we've done is we've developed each one of those steps along the way for training to be ready, and someday we're going to have that Autobahn name at Indy 500 or Le Mans or Daytona or something like that, and that's what we're doing, is training these young drivers to excel in pro racing.
And one of those drivers that's the closest to that is our Spec Miata winner, Britt Casey Jr. We'll award you your trophy here in a bit, but what is your involvement regarding the driver development program for those who weren't there to hear our little spiel?
Yeah, so how's it going, everybody? I'm the chief instructor of driver development here. Most of you guys know me because I basically grew up here. So I started racing Spec Miata age 13, 2011, at Autobahn specifically and exclusively. And basically turned that into a pro test 2014 with a team called Freedom Autosport in IMSA. That team was a factory muscle effort and was a true stepping stone to a real professional racing career, factory effort, a lot of big names involved there, and this place prepared me for that test. And then basically that linked me into 4 total seasons with Freedom Autosport as a driver of the 2.5 and 2.7 cars, and those were MX-5s, just the NC generation. Then turned it into a run with Audi, won the first TCR championship in IMSA in 2018 with my longtime life mentor and life coach, but also driver coach and driver mentor Tom Long, Mazda factory driver, and he leads the Mazda shootout along with my other teammate Andrew Carnell. So I got a lot of links to the stepping stones of professional motorsport, specifically within sport car racing. And it's cool to bring those skills and learning lessons back to the Autobahn and use it as a way to groom and prepare drivers for those that are willing and able to try to launch a pro career. So, yeah, I'm here full time now as of this year, as of this summer, and working on my plans for 2022. But for right now, we're finishing up the design of the driver development program, the Autobahn Driver Academy. And definitely everyone's going to get faster, safer, better racers, and prepared for the next steps in wherever your journey takes you in motorsport. So thanks again. And yeah, this place rocks. Unmatched member racing compared to any other club in the nation. So for sure, we're going to get some Indy 500, just like Mike said, Le Mans 24-hour winners, and well, hopefully Rolex 24 too. So all right, thank you.
Well, you know what they say, 2022 starts Monday morning. Yeah. I know that too well.
No, it started 2 months ago.
Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. All right, we'll see you in a little bit, Brett. Ladies, come on. Let's start off with the Chase Race Podium. I'm not going to be rude and give a spot like I did for the sportsman. All right, this is actually pretty interesting because penalties did come into play for not only the top 3, but they also came into play for the podium. All right, in 3rd place, it was interesting because this driver had some adversity on Friday, was able to get the car fixed near the end of the morning, came out and podiumed. He's a 319, Mike Ryan. Okay, so in second place, this was one of the drivers gunning for the championship, was 10 points. 10 points at the beginning of the day. Second place goes to the 72 of Gary Traverso. All right, winner was a first-time winner. I believe this driver won for the first time. Okay. Regardless, he held the lead and did what you're supposed to do in chase race and not break out. It's 3:15. Kevin Malone.
He may not be here right now.
Okay. Now we're going to get up to the top step then. Ladies, go ahead and we'll bring you up to the top, and there's a podium for the chase race. While I have your attention, here are the points for the top three. In third place, Mark Basso, 45 points back. Second place, Art Zosmer, 20 points back. Ladies, come on. And your champion is already on the podium, Gary Traverso. Pork those. All right, you guys got to twist them off. Well, it's over. Who's got the confetti? It's confetti time. All right, come on up here. Why don't you celebrate with everybody, too? We'll give you champagne. 3, 2, 1, confetti. You got to twist it. Well, congratulations to our podium finishers. Next up is the Pro Mazda Wings and Things podium.
Top secret information. Okay, so. Pro Mazda trophies.
All right, third place. Tell you what, I've spoken highly of this driver, ladies. We're ready for you. I've spoken highly of this driver since I've seen him improve throughout the years, and no different. It's great to see him up on the top step of the podium this season. But nonetheless, let's welcome up our third place finisher, Brandon Schwartz. All right, so that's Brandon. Second place is the master of Pro Mazda here at the Autobahn Country Club, none other than Kevin Davis. Last but not least, this driver is one of the ones that we're watching along with Brick Casey Jr. It is his second open wheel victory of the season. Give it up for Jordan Missig. All right, let's get these pictures through. Ladies, go ahead in the top step. Have a round of applause for our Wings and Things competitors. All right, get the champagne ready. Ladies, come on down. All right. All right, here we go. Confetti ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Promo's Podium. Okay. All right, so I've been told by the team owner that our SR10 drivers have left, but let's still recognize them. Third place, John Stafford. Second, Nico Caravias, and your winner, Louis Schreiber. All right, on to the SR3 class, the 1340cc category. And at third place, this driver's been doing quite well, working his way up through the pack. It is the 15 of Ryan Kelly. Ryan down here. All right. Don't see Ryan, so we're going to move on to second place. Another driver's been pretty fast all season long in the past couple seasons. It's 6 of Mike D'Ambros. Oh, well then I guess I have to give the, I have to talk to this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, no, come here for the camera. This man is the Blue Marble Radical Cup North America 1340 champion. I believe you've also won the Autobahn championship as well. So he is the national and local champion, Mike Anzaldi. It's the winner. Oh, it's the winner. Yeah, go ahead. So what we'll do here, big smile. Oh, say it, Mike. Hold on. You deserve this. Just don't spray me. Thank you. You're welcome. Please come on down. Kimi Räikkönen. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, champion nationally and locally, Mike Anzaldi. Congratulations, Mike. Really happy for you. All right, on to over 3 liter in the vintage. First of all, Brian and George Weatherwood, thank you very much for bringing these drivers here. It was fantastic to see this, and I hope it grows in the next couple of seasons. So, in second place, it's the 23 Pink Pig of Jason Freelander.
I'm only accepting it.
Oh, you're accepting on behalf. Well, you still get all the spoils.
Okay.
Go ahead, take the second. And your winner in the over 3 liter category, Glenn Spriegler. Glenn? Okay, so I guess you'll go ahead and take top step of the podium. Go ahead and join. I'll take that.
Way to go, Brian.
Congratulations, Brian. All right, ladies, come on down. Hold on. No. You get the spoils. Wait till I get out of the way. Don't run away, ladies. Come on over. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1. The confetti. On to the 3-liter and under classes. There were 2 finished classes this weekend. In third place, this is kind of a sentimental favorite because, as I mentioned during the broadcast, this car belonged to Peter Martin, and it's great to see it on the podium. Third place, 99V, Brian Leatherwood. Yeah, hiding in the gallows. And also, Ryan, like I said, thank you very much for bringing these drivers here this weekend. I hope we have more of these. This is fun. In second place is 19 of Gary Knobloch. And last but not least, your winner in the 3-liter and under category, Jason Knapp in the 394. Well, gentlemen, congratulations. I believe there's one more race for you tomorrow, correct? A big round of applause for our podium. And ladies, let's distribute the chant. No, you still get the spoils of victory. Go ahead and go on the top step. Great to see the vintage drivers here. And all right, ladies, come on down. Gentlemen, you get one more spoil of victory. Hold on. Get back up there. Come on, Gary. This wouldn't be a country club if we didn't have that. All righty, 1, 2, 3, confetti. Congratulations to all of our finishers in the vintage classes today. One more race tomorrow, so enjoy it, guys. On to, yes.
Can you announce?
Hold on, Brian, okay, Brian, go and tell me what you just told.
All the GT racers are welcome to join the group tomorrow. So it's going to be just an exhibition race if you guys want to join us. So it's, it's going to be a fun race.
Fantastic, looking forward to it. Thanks, Brian. All right, on to, where's my GT5 trophies? I need three. Yeah, we're going to 5, 4, 51. On to GT5, and Kyle, I don't even want to ask anymore. All right, on to GT5. This is a great battle throughout the race. Nonetheless, the third place driver really did what he could earn it. It's the 89, the Bob Norian. Hey, he's coming. Already street clothes, smart man. I think that's why Mike said we're the driver's suit. All right, in second place, the 691 of Mike Keck. I'm going to take the... And your winner making a spirited pass in the middle of the race and extending his lead, the 575 of Shane Weathers. All right. All right, gentlemen, go ahead and get on top step together. Ladies, go ahead and join them. Big smiles as we celebrate our GT5 winners. Ladies, come on down. Gentlemen, stay up there. We've got one more treat for you. Now, Mike, Shane, Bob said he does not want champagne sprayed on him. 3, 2, 1, confetti. Oh, now Bob's got to play. All right, one round of applause for GT5 podium. Gentlemen, congrats. On to GT4. It's great to see his number back in competition, especially behind the wheel of a Camaro, I should say. Third place goes to the 51 of Brian Lehman. In second place, he's the sponsor of GT Challenge, the 229 Charlie Margosian.
Thank you.
And I've known about this car that the winners run for a little bit, kind of let me in on a little secret, so great to see a front runner in endurance racing. Now a winner here at the Autobahn Country Club. Give it up for Mo Tadaka. All right, gentlemen on the top step, ladies, go ahead and join them. GT3, you guys are up next. All right, ladies, come on down. Wait, no, gentlemen, hold on. All right, here we go. Hold on, Jim. 3, 2, 1, confetti! There's your GT for podium. You right there, Charlie?
Number 3, right?
By the way, these ladies are doing a fantastic job of handing out the trophies. Thank you so much for making my job a lot easier. All right, on to GT3. He's a champion in almost anything he hops into. Nice flyover, fantastic. And now he is third place winner of OctoberFast 2021 in GT3. Give it up for Mike Bernardi. Third in GT3.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even finish the one.
Well, he still got third. Nice little display. Take it to your office. In second place, it's a 02 of Chris Bailey. And this is another name to watch coming up through the ranks. He ran part-time in the Global MX-5 Cup. I think, John, he's running full-time next year? Yeah, he's running full-time next year. And he's been doing quite well on a part-time basis. Give it up for the GT3 winner, John Joe Doyne.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
GT2 standby, GT2. All right, gentlemen, top step, ladies, go ahead and join them. All right, ladies, come on down. We'll give you the spoil. No, Mike, get up there. Mike, get up there. You're not gonna, you're not gonna leave that. All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, confetti. All right. Thank you. Congratulations to our GT3 podium finishers. All right, on to GT2. It's the father of the winner of GT3. Third place, Gene Jodoin. Congrats.
Thank you.
In second place, yep, you're over there. In second place, it's Tony Molino. And it's like Tony may not be here, so we'll move on to our winner. It's a 6 of Joel Reimer. Yay! Congrats, Joel. And we'll do our GT1 podium here momentarily. So GT1, you guys are on standby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, no, you get your spoils. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, confetti. There's your GT2 podium. On to GT1. In third place, it's a 771 of Bet Scroggin. I said I saw him. There he is. Yeah, he likes to be the center of attention. In second place, that's a beast. Driven by Tom Herb. Tom, what's the name of the car again? I know. What's the name of that 16 car?
Abby.
Abby, all right. Congratulations.
Mark's not here. Okay. Do you want to take this one again? Yeah, I'll take it. Okay, thanks. Go to one, give him first place.
And your winner overall in GT1, Mark Bowden. Gentlemen, go to the top step.
Must be present to win.
Well, you know, you took the spoils of victory. So I guess it means you won that. Ladies, to the top step. All right, ladies, come on down. Gentlemen, hold off. I know we want to give you champagne. All right, ladies, you ready? 3, 2, 1, confetti. That's a very gentlemanly. So, yeah, Skippy had ruined it. Congratulations to our GT1, all our GT competitors. Now, last but not least, it's time to award Spec Miata podiums. There were some great races in both SM2 and SM. So let's start off with third place in SM2. Finished third in the chase race, finished third in today's race, and that's with the new hub. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome up Mike Ryan. Mike? Oh, there he is.
Thank you.
In second place, he was a last-minute driver change in this car, but nonetheless, great to see him back up on the podium. Aiden Carini. Good to see you all. And your winner, I wouldn't be surprised to see him move up to SM. In fact, I think we should make that recommendation. Lee Warner. We got one more podium left. It's Spec Miata. All right, gentlemen, stay up there. Ladies, come on down. Wait on my cue. All right, Jim, come on. 1, 2, 3, confetti. And it's time for the Spec Miata podium. Before we do this third place driver, is your champion by 5 points. Well, welcome up our two-time champion, third place finisher, Taro Kushida. In second place, here's another front runner that I think is going to do real well in the next couple seasons. Let's welcome up Ethan Tyler.
Hell of a race, man. Good job.
And last but not least, your winner did all he could to hold off Ethan Tyler. Give it up for Brent Casey Jr.
Thanks. Good job, man. Proud of you.
All right, let's do pictures, and it's going to be about time for fireworks. Who's ready for fireworks? All right, let's get everybody in there. Hold on, hold on. Ladies, come on down. Gentlemen, stay up there. All right. 1, 2, 3, confetti. Let's give it up for our racers for a fantastic 2021 season. Thank you all for a very successful 2021 season. Let's make 2022 even better. On behalf of the race staff here at Autobahn Country Club, thank you very much. Dinner is being served in the members building. If you don't have your wristband, you can still purchase your wristbands in front. Thank you, everybody. Be safe.